What starts as a perfect day at the beach turns into a nightmare in seconds when a massive tsunami crashes into the city without warning. Buildings collapse, streets disappear underwater, and hundreds of people are trapped inside a flooded shopping mall. But the deadly waves aren't the only thing that made it in. Something far more terrifying is now swimming beneath the surface. Inside the mall's underground parking garage, a young employee barely escapes from his submerged car and discovers the entire basement has become an underwater death trap. Nearby, a couple trapped inside their vehicle suddenly realizes they're not alone. A giant shark is circling them, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. After a desperate escape, they reach higher ground, but the boyfriend makes a selfish decision by sacrificing their pet dog to save himself. Moments later, the shark catches him instead, leaving his girlfriend devastated. Meanwhile, survivors inside the supermarket struggle to understand what's happening. Among them is Josh, a former Coast Guard rescuer haunted by a tragic mistake that cost his ex-girlfriend Tina's brother his life. Unable to forgive himself, Josh left the Coast Guard and took a job at the mall. Now, fate has forced Josh and Tina together again in the middle of an unimaginable disaster. The survivors soon learn the horrifying truth. A massive great white shark has been swept into the mall by the tsunami, turning the flooded supermarket into its personal hunting ground. Every attempt to move through the water risks attracting the predator. When damaged electrical cables begin hanging dangerously above the floodwater, the group realizes they must shut off the power before everyone is electrocuted. Tina's new boyfriend volunteers for the impossible mission. Wearing a homemade protective suit built from metal fencing, he swims through the flooded store and successfully reaches the electrical room. He manages to shut off the power, saving everyone else's lives, but the heavy suit becomes his prison. Unable to swim back to the surface before running out of air, he dies a true hero. Realizing hiding won't save them, the survivors come up with another desperate plan. They try to trap the shark using meat and a giant hook. Along the way, Jamie, the rebellious daughter of an injured police officer, risks her life to retrieve the supplies they need. During the chaos, Josh finally admits the guilt he's carried for years, and Tina begins to see the man he truly is beneath the pain and regret. Just when their trap seems ready, another threat emerges. One of the survivors is revealed to be an armed criminal willing to sacrifice innocent people just to save himself. The group turns the tables, using the criminal as bait. The shark devours him, swallowing the hidden hook and finally giving the survivors a small advantage. But the nightmare isn't over. Jamie hears her boyfriend calling for help from the flooded parking garage below. Refusing to abandon him, she dives back into the danger, with Josh following close behind. Down there, they discover an even bigger shark waiting in the darkness. During the desperate fight, Josh finds a shotgun and a stun gun. After a brutal underwater battle, he kills the giant predator at point-blank range by firing directly into its open mouth. Back upstairs, the original shark breaks free from its trap and launches one final attack. As another earthquake shakes the already destroyed building, Josh's shotgun jams at the worst possible moment. With no other option, he grabs the stun gun and waits until the shark leaps toward him. At the last second, he shocks the massive predator with high voltage, killing it instantly. With the sharks finally defeated, the survivors trigger an explosion that clears the blocked emergency exit and escape the shattered mall. Outside, the city has been reduced to ruins, a heartbreaking reminder of the tsunami's unstoppable destruction. But as rescue helicopters finally arrive, the exhausted survivors realize they've beaten impossible odds and live to tell the story.